welcome to episode 18 of Rational Romantics. And we are super excited because we're going to dive into The Buccaneers, one of our favorite period dramas on TV right now. And the premiere of season 2 is coming on June 18th. So we thought, let's go back, let's watch season 1, and then let's break it down for you guys. So we're going to talk all things season 1. There will be spoilers for season 1. Now, on that note, I have something a little fun where I got the opportunity, just a little fun, I got the opportunity to see the first 3 episodes of season 2 early. So I have seen the first 3 episodes. I will not be giving any spoilers, but stick around to the end, and I'm going to be talking about my general thoughts, impressions, some themes, some things that stuck out to me, be giving a few little details that I am allowed to give. So join us on this journey, all things Buccaneers, and of course a few Bridgerton updates in there too.
I love it. I'm so excited for you. It's been like, I like fangirled over your news when you told me that you got access to this, and like so well deserved. You cover things so beautifully. So I love that you got an inside look at the beginning of season 2 of the Buccaneers, and so proud of you. Honestly, just so proud.
Thank you. It was such a thing where I was like, immediately, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to tell Deb. Like, this is so exciting. Like,
so
yeah,
cute.
it was so
So
fun.
cute. Well, tell us a little bit more about it. Like, how did that happen? They just contacted you through Instagram? Like, what went
Yeah.
down?
So they reached out on my email, and I was like, oh, okay. And, whatever, I have it linked all through my stuff. So, I looked and I was like, well, this is, like, I get lots of junk about, this all the time. And I was like, this is very legit. Looked very professional. It came from a, like, actual social media managing, like, company, all these things. I was like, oh, this is real. And then there was an attached NDA, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna sign an NDA. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna do this. And so I sat down and like read the whole thing and was like, I'm gonna be all grown up about this and read the contract and do all the things. And then I signed it and sent it back, and I was like, fingers crossed, hopefully I get this. And then they just were like, okay, here's a link to this thing. You make yourself a little account and you go and watch it. I was like,
That's
okay.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
That's amazing. It must have been such like an out of body experience. Like, what? These
Yeah.
things, you hear about these things happening, but then it suddenly happened to you. So that's amazing.
Oh, it was surreal. I kept like constantly being nervous. Like I didn't want to log in before I was ready to like sit down and watch it because I was like, what if I log in and I can't get back in?
Oh,
So I was like so crazy about it. Yeah, because this is my first time getting anything like this. So yeah, I was super excited, so grateful, and I mean, I love this show, so I can't wait to talk about season 1 and to see all of season 2, and it's gonna be so amazing.
that's so exciting. Congrats, Cass. I'm so happy for you. But before all of that, let's dive into some news from the Bridgerverse because holy moly, did we ever get a huge piece of information from our very own Julia Quinn.
Yeah, Julia just casually drops in there that she has seen the first 2 episodes of Bridgerton. And she's read all 8 scripts, which the scripts, okay, but she has seen, there are completed episodes of Bridgerton. There are 2 episodes out there in the world that exist, which is crazy.
That's crazy. That is crazy to me because I feel like we got news of like, full episodes being seen of season 3 like after we knew the date that it was going to be released. Like it was so much closer to the release date for season 3 that we found out that people were seeing full episodes. So the fact that like we're June and Julia Quinn has seen 2 episodes, I mean, it's slightly not surprising considering the speed in which they've been editing and like releasing, some BTS and also that first clip of the Masquerade Ball. Like, it seems like they were ramping up on editing, but like for 2 full episodes to be done? Like, oh my God, Julia, tell us everything. But of course she won't.
No, she won't, and it's killing me. Sorry, I just opened my phone to look at the cast, and there's a video of Travis and Taylor at the Stanley Cup. They're just casually there.
Oh my God. Wait, in Florida?
Uh, maybe? Question mark? I just sent it to you.
At Game 4, yeah.
Oh my
It
gosh.
is in Florida. Taylor! Whoa, look at her shoes.
Oh my gosh. I love her in the giant shoes when she still looks tiny next to him. They're so cute. What?
Oh my God. I just need everybody to know too that like I opened Instagram and the first thing I have is just Cass sending me the reel that she watched in real time. This is our friendship, guys.
It really is. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Oh my
Why are they the
God.
cutest people that have ever lived?
I don't know. I don't know who gave them permission, but here we are.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I was so distracted. That was so bad, but I'm just like, ah! Okay, it's fine.
Anyways, yeah, Julia Quinn.
Right. Yeah,
No, it's fine, it's
super
fine.
exciting. Love that she has seen the episodes. Love that she's read all the scripts and she would just completely sang all of the praises. So, I mean, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. I am absolutely sure.
You know what? I think that the fact that we saw this about Taylor as we're talking about episodes 1 and 2, how about we lock in a bet that there's going to be a Taylor song in episode 1 or 2 of Bridgerton season 4?
I love it. I love it. It's accurate. There literally has to be. They have
Please.
teased it. Enchanted is coming. It just is. I'm not even questioning
Enchanted,
it at this point. Yeah.
it is coming, but I would bet that 2 songs are coming because we got 2 songs in season 3. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's fair.
Crazy. Crazy. But yeah, that is very exciting about Julia Quinn. And then we also got some other crazy news, which I
Yeah.
personally haven't had the time to break down myself because, like, I was going to say out of the country. No, I've been out of my province for a week or so. And I'm just like, now I'm back and I'm like, okay, whoa. We just got a list of new characters for season 4.
Okay, so let's look. So we got, I believe it is 12 characters from what's on Netflix confirmed, or well, as confirmed as they can. It's not officially confirmed, but they're pretty good about, they're usually right. So definitely a few just kind of like, lords and ladies and people that aren't necessarily going to be, or at least don't seem like they're going to be a whole lot of something. The ones I wanted to zoom in on. We have Humboldt back, so the Bridgerton. Yes, exactly. That's like
Zoom,
the
zoom.
it's like the opposite of the little heart. Um, uh, we have the Bridgerton butler back, so he was in season 1, but not in seasons 2 and 3. So we have him back. We also have Carl James Wilson as Constable Turner. So, how we feeling there, Deb?
That seems really, really in keeping with the last few chapters that we just finished from from An Offer from a Gentleman. Does it not? Certain
Really
jail
does.
scene.
Yep. Um,
Crazy.
yeah. Also, I will say, he's like really cute, the actor. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's a bold
That's
choice. All
confusing.
right. Yeah.
That's confusing. That's unlocking a little side story there that we don't need to think about just yet, but we might one day.
I like it.
Crazy.
I like it. That's
Yeah.
fan fiction fodder. Let's do it.
There you go.
Um,
Perfect.
okay, we also have well, more confirmation of Susan Brown as Mrs. Crabtree. No more leads on Mr. Crabtree, but sounds like we're getting both of them, so that's very fun. I really fell in love with them on this reread. Like, I
Yes.
liked them in the first read, but I loved them in this read.
I agree. I really loved how, and I think we spoke about this, just the fact that like Mrs. Crabtree, she doesn't see Sophie as less important. she sees her as a guest of Benedict's and not as somebody of a lower class or of an equal rank as her, and therefore she doesn't need to treat her any differently. Like she just says, you know what? Yeah, you're here as a guest. You be a guest and you enjoy yourself. She encourages her, go for a walk. You don't have to work right now. No, I'm gonna get you your tea. You know, all these things. So I really, yeah, enjoyed the Crabtrees and I'm really delighted to see that they will be in season 4 and now even more so confirmed by next on Netflix. So love it.
I love it. Um, so now we get into the stuff where there's a little more speculation. So we have Dr. Lewiston. Why is there a doctor? So, I mean, my immediate thought, of course, my panic thought is, of course, John.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's my only thought at the moment. But if we are going to open it up and I'm going to let my brain think, I still think it would have to do with John and Francesca. Maybe it's about her trying to conceive and it's not working and there's a doctor involved. I don't see it related to any other character at the moment, but yeah, it doesn't seem like good news, is how I'll put it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, a possibly more fun one on this. I did see some speculation. So we have Alejandra Dean as Miss Alvarez, and some people did think because the A is Abernathy Alvarez, like it could be like a Lucy person. I don't think so, but I did want to shout out that theory because I thought it was fun, and I love a fun theory. So even though I don't think that that's what's happening, I love the idea that we could be planting seeds for Gregory's story eventually.
Can you imagine? That's such a good theory. I mean, yeah. Do I think it actually is? I don't think so. It's kind of early, but I love that idea. So yeah, we love a fun theory, so that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, and exactly with those fun theories, we also have, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. Rini Boeja, oh my god, that's so bad. I'm,
It's okay.
I'm so sorry, y'all. Uh, anyway, so she is playing an
It's the
Indian
way you
princess.
already know. You already know. You're like, mm-mm, it's wrong.
My
I
dogs
don't know
agree.
any more than you, so it's okay.
It's wrong. Um, yeah, they're just like, girl, what are you doing? Anyway, so sorry for the butchered name pronunciation. Anyway, she's playing an Indian princess. So my thought was,
Hmm.
could that mean that we are maybe seeing Kate and Antony in India? However, somebody did point out, and I'm so sorry I don't have your name. But somebody pointed out that that actress is the person that we saw in those like behind the scenes, almost like paparazzi photos of the masquerade, where it was like her and the blonde girls like standing together. So we saw her. So we haven't seen her in anything official yet, but we have seen like BTS of her at the masquerade. So yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. I really love the irrational thought of the rational romantics that it might be them in India.
Yeah.
You never know. I had that idea, that instinct too. I was like, what does that mean? An Indian princess? That's not Kate? What does that mean? So, who knows? But yeah, I just love like all the this array of different kind of characters that we get, and it just really brings me back, honestly, to like when we got the confirmation of like Lord Debling and like Harry Dankworth, and it was like, who are these people? And it's just so fun to speculate about them. And I mean, if they're announced in some way, shape, or form, it's probably because they have something to do with the storyline
Hmm.
in a minor way. So, a princess, a doctor, a jail constable, like they all walk into a bar, and the rest is history.
I was just going to say that. You took it right out of my brain. Ugh, girl. Ugh. Killing me.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm so
Oh
sorry.
my gosh. I literally love it. I can't. Oh my goodness.
We're the same. We're the same person. That's fine.
Okay, so y'all, uh we have to talk about the Buccaneers. This is without question one of my favorite period dramas ever. I love the Buccaneers so much. So, I watched it like right when it first came out, I think. And adored it. Was like I need 8,000 versions of this in my life. Um you came to it a little later though. So
Oh my
share with
gosh.
us this experience for you.
Honestly, so late. So late, not long ago. Is when I came to with the Buccaneers. It's actually, I think it was our episode with Ainsley Broom. And
Yeah.
right, like we were talking, we just talked about everything and anything. And I had heard about the Buccaneers and people, some friends on Instagram had suggested it to me. That in the Gilded Age. They said, you need to watch the
Mm-hmm.
Buccaneers, you need to watch the Gilded Age. And I've been hearing that like a broken record. And like, I kept being like, yeah, I totally agree. But like, she's busy and it was hard to like dive into it. But
Mm-hmm.
we were on the pod with Ainsley and I believe it was shortly before we recorded that season 2 was announced. Like the date was announced.
Right.
And then I was like, whoa, okay, now I have a deadline. I work really well with deadlines. So I'm like, okay, if I know I need to watch it by this date, then I will. And I did. And I like absolutely loved it. It was everything that was promised to me. It was everything that I was hoping for. And so, yeah, ultimately it was you and Ainsley who convinced me, along with a few other like little gentle whisperings throughout my Instagram, to watch the Buccaneers. And so I watched it. I literally just finished it. I was on an away trip with the team that I work for, and I watched it on the plane. I watched it on the bus. I watched it like I watched it, and I was hungry for more. So it's very good timing.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, and yeah, you're gonna get it because less than a week away is the start of season 2. So let's
Perfect.
break down. Let's go through. If you haven't seen the Buccaneers before, we are gonna hit some spoilers. So go watch, come back, join us, or if you don't mind spoilers, if you want to know the spoilers, walk through this season with us. Um, So I did want to give a little bit of background. This is based on an Edith Wharton novel, also called The Buccaneers. There is a movie from the 90s that also is based on this book. And they definitely take the original and they update it. It's got a very modern flair. I would say even more modern than Bridgerton. Like Bridgerton has that modern vibe, but like The Buccaneers is the language is extremely modern. The songs
Mm-hmm.
are like not even classical covers, they're just modern songs.
Yep.
The styles, the fashion, all very modern. It still has that historical aesthetic, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's, which I think maybe you said a little bit of this, but it's almost a little jarring when you first watch it. You're like, oh, like
Mm-hmm.
that's a tone that you don't see a whole lot, but
Yep.
it flows well with the show. So I love it.
Yes, I totally agree. And yeah, I believe in one of our past episodes, I gave you my synopsis of episode 1 very
Yes.
thoroughly. But yeah, at first you're kind of like, you expect it to be so like similar to Bridgerton because at least in my mind, I was like, Bridgerton is the only way that you can do a period piece, but in a modern way. That is absolutely not true. That is just how I hyperfixate on the things that I love. And I love Bridgerton. And I'm like, everything should be like Bridgerton. If you're going to do it that way, it's going to be like Bridgerton. But that's not always the case, right? Like it can be different. And also when I personally think of period dramas, I think of like Regency and I think of British historical dramas when I think of that. So to like start off this whole like series in the United States in New York City, I just when I think of like period-esque or like, you know, historical dramas based in like the United States, I think of like, you know, um, the 20s, the 1920s, like the Great Gatsby vibes. Like I think of that. So to see like those Victorian type of costumes in the United States, I'm like, this is weird. This is different. It's not what I'm used to. So it took like a minute or two for me to be like, okay, this is fine. Like this is just different. And yeah, once you adjust to it, it doesn't take long, and then you're just hooked on it, and it's incredible. And the modern twist to it all is just so well done.
It really is. Well, and one of my favorite things about it as well, because I'm a firm believer that everything that's set in the past is actually just commenting on our current society, and they just do it a little more directly with the Buccaneers than most things. But I love too their setup for an actual thing that happened in actual history, where wealthy American heiresses would go to England to find I can't talk, titled husbands, because the aristocracy was just massively bankrupt. And so they needed a massive influx of cash. And these girls with no pedigree provided it. And that provided for their families a significant amount of legitimacy because they would marry lords and viscounts and dukes and all these things. So it was a very interesting time where the aristocracy in England was being forced to kind of update, and this sort of culture clash that we got to see that really plays out in this series in such a fun way.
And definitely right from the get-go in episode 1, just
Oh yeah.
you see the contrast right away, and it makes for the beginning of a really great series, to say the least.
It's so good. So, I thought maybe let's go through the 5 main girls and then we can kind of dive in. So, you got our number one character, Nan. She's very much like the not like the other girls, but like in a fun way. We love her for that. So there's her, and then there's her sister Ginny, and Ginny is the like basically the diamond of the first water. She's the pretty one. She's the whatever. Then you've got another set of sisters. You have Lizzie and Mabel Elmsworth, and like spoiler alerts on these. I'm just gonna not say spoiler alerts anymore because we're gonna assume that you are following along with the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Lizzie is like Ginny's best friend, but she kind of tends to a little bit play second fiddle. She's also very pretty. Eldest daughter has a lot of that same pressure, but they have a little bit of a frenemy competition. And then Mabel, our adorable, precious, amazing Mabel, so cute, so fun. Not maybe as much in the Marriage Mart, and that's also because she is our queer representation. She's an amazing, love her so much, and we get a great romance with her, which I'll save. And then, of course, there's Conchita. And Conchita is, well, she's Conchita Clausen. She's so much all the time in the best way. I know that some people hate Conchita. I love Conchita more than life. I love her. She's such a drama queen, and I live for it. And so we start off with her wedding. I love her. I love her.
Excuse me. Who hates Conchita? I do not hate Conchita for 1 second. Please.
So I know I'm skipping ahead, but like Conchita and Dick and Richard, her husband, which we start with their wedding, they are my favorite romance in this whole show. And the moment that clinches it for me is when Conchita runs off into the rain and Nan's like, and he's so worried about her, and Nan's like, she's just doing it for attention. And he turns back to Nan and he's like, but I'm her husband. It's my job to give it to her. And I'm like, it's so perfect.
Yeah, I was unwell on the plane when that happened. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I needed a moment. I love them. I love them so much. And, okay, yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. I love them.
They're so great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it starts off with their wedding, and Richard's like not gonna show up. He's like basically getting cold feet because Conchita is a lot, and he's starting to freak out because he's an English lord, and he's like, my family's maybe not gonna be happy about this. But Nan's there. Nan reminds him that, like, Conchita's the sun. She's his everything. Like, you love this woman, go marry her. And he's like, you're right. You're right, Nan. I love her. I'm gonna go marry her. So we forgive him that. At least I forgive him
It
that.
took him no time at all. He was like, ah, yeah, okay, let's go. And she's just so, she's a little bit hot and cold. She's very like, oh, this is the end of the world. Is never going to work. And then suddenly he's there. She's like, let's do this. And I'll always remember like how she's just like sitting on the toilet having like a little mentee bee. I'm like, girl, feel your feelings. That's fine. But like on the toilet, do you have to? But that's why we love her. She's just like, she's in the moment. She's a free spirit, a wild child, and yeah, she's so cool. And yeah, I think like just before the wedding when they have champagne and all the things and they're like just talking very like modern like verbiage, you're just like, "Oh, okay, this is different, but it's cool." Like you just you get to the essence of each character a little bit faster, I find, because they're so relatable in the way that they're interacting with each other.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and for me, like the moment that I was hooked on this series, it's so funny that it was this, but it's when Conchita and Nan are standing at the window and Conchita puts her hands on her stomach and like shows that she's pregnant. And I was
Mm.
like, "Oh, I'm in." I don't know why it was that drama where I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like they clearly like they've anticipated their vows, and she's waiting for him, and she's all like, "Is he gonna come? Is he gonna show?" And I was like, "Oh, this is it. I'm in." I've just completely leaned in, so I love that. Yes, and Nan are not like the other girls. Climbs down out of a window to go get an earring, and she meets a certain gentleman.
Oh my God. Guy, please. I had, it's so funny because like I look at myself the first time I spoke about this episode and I was not about him. I was like, bro, no. I was so mad at him. I did not, and I'm skipping ahead, but I did not like him at the end of episode one. I was
Yeah.
so mad. And now I'm just like, what? You know what I mean? Without like, I know we're spoiling, but like, I don't want to skip ahead. But I remember being so mad at him and not about it at the beginning of episode or throughout episode one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's fair. I mean, that's totally fair. And I will, which again, all of this is whatever. But um, I think I am always and forever a Theo girl for me, but I am a Guy girl for Nan. Like Nan and Guy
Mm.
belong together, which is fine because that leaves Theo for me. Thanks. So that's how I feel about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That makes total sense. And I support.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, we get a glimpse of Theo early on in this episode, and he is the Duke of
Mhm.
Tintagel, and he is a little bit resentful of being the Duke of Tintagel because he feels like he is being hunted for sport for his title.
Mhm.
And that's a big hang up of his that continues to play out, and why he makes some interesting decisions that he makes is because he's very much about, like, does not want a woman who wants him just because he's a Duke.
Yeah. Which I guess fair enough. Fair enough. He's a hopeless romantic and he wants it to be about the connection that they have and no context, which he harps on a lot,
Yeah.
let's say.
Oh, yes. I also think it's really interesting because very early on, like with the mother, everybody, it's very clear that these girls are set up in competition with each other. And I think that that's a really interesting thing throughout the season because these girls are going to make some choices and they're going to do some things that are not great. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really easy to look at them and judge them. But I
Yeah.
think it's important to remember they are like 19, 20-year-old very young women who have
Mm-hmm.
been raised that their only purpose in life is to secure the best husband. And yes, the girl next to you is your friend, but she's also your main competition. And that is a
Mm-hmm.
cutthroat and scary world to exist in. So I give them a lot of grace. And I think it's great that the
Mm-hmm.
show sets that up early on.
Yeah, definitely. And I really love um, how it feels like the character of Nan really channels our views on the whole thing. We can really the way she reacts to like the presentation and like the whole like pomp and pageantry of it all is how we see it as like a modern audience. So she's really like our vessel into the show to like react truly the way to see it the way that it is, and that's just it's wrong to be presented as like an offering to this room full of men, and it just being, yeah, just this unnecessary competition between friends. And it's just, you can be friends, but then not when it comes to the guy. Like, it's just, it's a sad reality. And I really love how the way Nan reacts to it all, especially at the presentation. It's just, it's relatable to how we as a modern audience would view it.
Yeah, she definitely is like our audience insert. Yeah, and so I mean we get that where Conchita moves to England with Richard and kind of brings all the girls over and they do the, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Daphne Bridgerton style presentation and Nan is just like this
Mm-hmm.
is disgusting. Like they're literally are just there with numbers and guys are like noting that they're there with
Yeah.
numbers. Um when we also get kind of the setup, not even kind of, definitely the setup of the love triangle here, where Theo like spies her and is like, "Oh, who is this girl who's like we are like people and we have our own ideas and like, huh," and walks away and then she drops a shoe into a cake with Guy and it's all very adorable.
It's all very rom com. It's very rom
Yes.
com. And I remember watching it, be like, "Girl, don't drop your shoe. Don't do it. Just not the shoe." And then it falls in cake. I'm like, "Girl, no." But there's just so many like cute moments between them that really set up our like attachment to him and or to them together. You're just like, this is really cute. I really ship this. And I think that's dangerous right out of the gate to ship a couple from the get go, because it's like, why is this too good? This is too good to be true.
Well, and I know you have I think we should just like finish out Guy because I know you have strong feelings about where we land with Guy in episode 1 and our reveal there. So, how did you
Yes.
feel about Guy and his little scheme?
I felt betrayed. I felt betrayed, and I wonder what was real. I was like, what was the moment in the staircase real? Did you actually feel, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many like little moments I doubted. I was like, dude, what are your intentions really? I remember just being so, when he pulls out that ring and he like admits to, you know, I think it was the money thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's all to do with money, right? And it's like, in retrospect, I was a little harsh. I was a little harsh. But yeah, I just felt like this really was too good to be true. And I remember being just really, really upset with Guy. And then the whole, just the way the ending unfolds, and like, you know, she finds, and then Ginny, and then Ginny.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we haven't talked about Ginny.
Yeah.
But
Well, that was going to be my
yeah,
next
there's just so
question.
many things that fell into place, and I was like, no.
Yeah. That was definitely going to be what I asked next because I'm like, I know you also have lots of strong feelings about Ginny in the end of this first episode because Ginny, in a moment of anger, tells Nan that Nan is not their mother's daughter. She is illegitimate.
And yeah, despite how I felt about Guy, it's the way Ginny stabbed me in the back that I was like, no, why? Because it was so spiteful. And it was just a split second. In retrospect, it was just a split second, and she was immediately like, oh my gosh, like, I shouldn't have said that, please don't, like, you know, and she's not a terrible person, but it's just, what a big secret to just drop just because you're upset that like you were lacking in some attention there, you know? And yeah, so I was even more furious with Ginny, and it took me a lot longer. Well, actually, no. I was gonna say it took me a lot longer to come around to Ginny than it did with Guy, but I don't know. Jury's out for that. But yeah. Yeah, Ginny broke my heart there, and it was very sad.
Yeah, she is a complicated character. Well, and it also pushes all of these things happen. So Nan then gets like sent away to Cornwall, and two really big things happen there. One, Conchita ends up then having her baby alone, which devastating because Conchita so badly needed Nan there, and Conchita is so outnumbered in this house of British
Mm-hmm.
aristocrats who hate her, and
Mm-hmm.
so she's all by herself, which devastating, and not Nan's fault. Like Nan gets, I mean, Nan should have said something, but Nan gets forcibly removed. She's sent off, and so that's terrible. But
Yeah. And also Nan is in this completely different state of mind with the information that she has. She doesn't know herself. She's confused with everything. So yeah, like her vulnerability and like willingness, or maybe not willingness, but willingness to accept that she's being removed, um, is understandable given what she's been through. But I was I was so sad. I was like, just you could have written her a note. You could have said something. And yeah, it was really heartbreaking to know that Conchita was gonna have her baby alone. I was like, ugh, so heartbroken for her.
yeah, it's awful. But exciting thing that did come out of that visit to Cornwall was, of course, the meet
Hmm.
cute with our very own Duke. They're swimming in the ocean. He's an artist. He's painting. It's adorable. He paints a terrible bird, and she can still tell it's a bird. It's so cute. I love it. I'm obsessed. I love it. I love them. Can't help it. They're adorable.
Yes, it was definitely a dreamy meet cute, especially knowing that, Theo is feeling like all he really wants, if he's going to marry, if he's going to be with somebody, he just wants it to be for something other than him being a duke. And it was really sweet to see that, Nan was able to meet him in under the guise of him just being himself. Um, so I think that, yeah, the way this episode ended, I was just like, this is perfect. But again, it's perfect very soon. So, like, of course, there's more things to come. But it was a really cute, sweet, meet cute. It was giving like the Notebook a little bit, really cute, like on the beach, and the artist, like, yeah, it was speaking to me. It was giving me little butterflies, and I was like, this is cute.
So, episode 2, we dive in. We're at Runnymede. So, Conchita has had the baby weeks ago. She and Richard are maybe not vibing quite. She's feeling a little mad at him. That's a whole thread.
Mm-hmm.
But you know who we have not talked about yet is
Mm-hmm.
Seaton. Is fucking Lord Seaton. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I hate this man. I hate this man.
I despise, I despise this man with every fiber in my being. And I hate that even, I'm going to skip ahead. I don't want to, but there's moments at the beginning of him and Ginny that I'm like, that's nice. There's little moments where you're like, are you changing? Like, is this different? Like, it's just, but no, yeah, I hate him so much. And I hate getting to know him. And I hate what's to come. I almost don't want to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it because what a dick.
Yep,
And not
he's the
Richard.
worst. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, he literally, so he has Ginny basically on the hook, and then he doesn't like that Ginny is having fun with her friends, and so to essentially punish her and display his level of control, he then acts like he's very interested in Lizzie, and then proceeds to abuse Lizzie. I mean, there's no way around it. Like, apparently I'm just going to carry this thread through. Like, this happens through the episode, but
Mm-hmm.
when they're playing sardines, he sends Lizzie into a room, has her completely undress, and then just stares at her, humiliates her, and then leaves and sends the fucking butler in to it's so the psychological mind games are so awful. He's well, as Honoria puts it, he's a monster. So
Mm-hmm.
fair.
100% a monster. And I feel like that scene where where she's just waiting and she's just exposed on that like chaise and she's just waiting there. It is so heartbreaking and he's so disgusting for having done that. Like, to what end? And it's just also just before he goes away with Lizzie, it's just the way that he looks down at Ginny as like, you acting this way is not like appealing to me at all. Like he just shuts her down completely and it's heartbreaking. Ugh, God, he's so disgusting. I hate him so much.
And he's so accurate to like how men like that actually behave, and the way that they like pit women against each other and mess with your self-esteem and like all these things. And I think it's really impressive that they are able to, which like bad men have been the same always, like they are have always been the same, but that they're able to do like, it's that same kind of exposure as like when girls send nudes and there's, you know, this, that he has this piece of her, he has this information on her, he has this thing, and that, you know, it's her, which shame being a central theme of this whole season is one of my favorite pieces because it's such a strong theme that they carry through the whole time. But that he is able to like convince her to be ashamed of herself in this moment is his true psychological torture, and it's horrifying and just way too realistic.
Yes, exactly. Way too realistic. And yeah, and like all the while there's other things that are happening, right? Because there's um like there's the moment on the rooftop too with Guy and Nan. So there's like Honoria and Mabel. Like there's just so many other things happening too at the same time, and you're just kind of like being thrown for a loop with your emotions because you're like so much happening. So yeah, this episode is really it's taking us on a journey on so many different levels. And honestly, like, and even like Conchita and Dick, they're like so cute out of nowhere, and like they're just like living their best life away from the baby, and it's all like there's so many emotions happening all at the same time.
Yeah, it's insane. And well, that's like there's so much going on with these couples. Like you get the beginning of Honoria and Mabel, like you were saying, which love them. Um, they're so cute. And then I love one, honestly, weirdly, one of the sexiest scenes I think I've ever seen is Richard and Conchita in the rowboat. I don't know why that's so hot to me, but
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the way the girl's moving her hips or whatever, but I'm just like, okay, loving this, unlocking a kink that I didn't know I had about boats apparently. I don't know, but I love it. They're adorable.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
and
it was
then
really cute.
so cute. Um, and I think too, like this episode really sold me a lot on Guy the first time I watched it, and more so this one, because he sees and understands Nan so well. Like he said, like he immediately knows. He's like, you're more still than you used to be, and he's like, I like both versions of you, but he can tell that something's wrong, even though they've only met each other what, like twice. So he sees her, and that's beautiful.
Yeah. He sees her, but also she feels such a level of comfort with him that she can reveal this biggest secret about her. And she can just be super vulnerable and say like, yeah, I just found this out that like my mom's not really my mom. And you know, she knows how like destructive this secret could be towards her, but she for some reason trusts him enough to say it. I don't know if it's because she thinks she may never see him again or that she genuinely has this connection. I'm hoping and I believe that it's the latter. But yeah, this rooftop moment, and it's so sweet. And like when he like kind of gets stuck in the leaves or whatever, and she's just like, "What? Oh, it's so cute." I love that kind of stuff. Like it's so sweet, very endearing, and yeah, I my anger from episode one faded pretty quick.
Okay, but then though, then he really stokes it back because then he runs
Right,
away, and
right.
it's like Guy, which, and he comes back. But, and this is a constant theme I feel like with Nan and Guy, is that like they falter for 1 second and immediately Theo is there, and he is always like the other option that is there, like, which, oh, that's actually really interesting. So I'm like thinking this out thematically in my head right now. So Theo has all of the privilege, right? He is the lucky one. He is wealthy, he is titled, he is all of these things. And so every moment he gets lucky. Like Nan is on the seashore. The girl that he saw is on the sea. He doesn't have to orchestrate that. She's just there.
Mm-hmm.
Like she
Mm-hmm.
has just basically had her heart broken by the guy that she was kind of at least fairly interested in enough to do the secret, and he shows up right then, right when she's
Mm-hmm.
not going to question, right when she's ready to engage with something with him. Like
Mm-hmm.
he consistently has this privilege, this luck that Guy doesn't have. And Guy, every time Guy falters, every time he messes up, it's earth shattering.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really sad. Like, especially just like after finishing this whole season and now coming back to episode 2, you're like, if she had just known he was there,
Mm-hmm.
if she had just known that guy was there before, Theo proposes, it would have changed everything. And I feel like there's this moment, I forget which episode, maybe it's 3 or 4, but she feels like she's finally content with her decision. She rests her head on the pillow, and then Mabel's like, "Yeah, it's so funny. That guy was there that day." She's like, "What do you mean? I had just like reconciled everything in my brain, and now you're telling me he was there looking for me? Are you kidding me?" There's so much that could have just been solved if she just knew he was there in episode 2. But she didn't. Or at the end of episode 2, rather.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't, and it's just you're right. Theo's just lucky, but also there is something there. So it's hard. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah. Well, and he makes a very solid argument on the like there is something between us. Like, and he shows up and he proposes to Nan, and I love a decisive man. And you know,
I love it too.
yeah. Which
Can't be mad at him.
no, I get it. I get his. Is it rushed? For sure. Is it
But
also
is it hopeless romantic? Yes.
right?
Love it. I love that shit. So
Yeah.
it
Well,
is what it is.
and in contrast to the other proposal that happens in this episode, where Seaton gets engaged to Ginny. So, fine, he discarded Lizzie, he's marrying Ginny, whatever. And Lizzie kind of really tries to tell Ginny this, but Ginny is not in the headspace to hear it, which I get, because, again, she thinks that Lizzie's jealous and being competitive and whatever, and so it's a lot.
You know what though? Now that I think about it, I find this moment very like Penelope. Where like she had like one chance, but no, she had like a bunch of chances to say that she was Lady Whistledown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Lizzie, girl, you had a few chances. You could have tried a little harder to tell her about your experience. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
could have tried, but makes for drama.
It does. Well, also, like, if I have somebody, like, yeah, Lizzie and Ginny are best friends, but, like, are they? And if I have somebody that kind of hates me already, I don't know that I want to give them that much dirt on me.
Hmm. Fair, but like girl code also. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
But I would be nervous. So I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. Okay, so are you ready to move on to episode 3?
Let's dive into episode 3.
So Lizzie has fled the country. And Conchita is
Naturally.
trying to act all nice and demure because in the previous episode she overheard, which, heartbreaking, she overheard Richard be like, Conchita will never fit in, and then ran away before he was like, but I love her so much and I can't breathe without her and all these things, whatever. And it's like, should have stayed.
And
Like,
I kind
10
of love her
seconds
for
longer.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
So,
I,
yeah.
I hate that shit. I love it, but I hate it because I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. Like, I hate that. There's just something about a character overhearing something, but not in its entirety or not within context that I'm just like, oh, here we go. And it kills me.
Also very Colin and Penelope, actually.
Very. Painfully so. Painfully so.
Yes. Oh, and then this is kind of, we talked about Theo and Nan talking about the context. And that's what is interesting too, where Theo and Nan feel like a very classic romance novel where it's like, nothing else matters but our love for each other. Okay, but it does, though. Like, context actually matters, and who you are, and what you bring to the table, and your history, and your whatever, and the maybe secrets that you're keeping from each other. Like, maybe stop saying to each other, don't tell me things. Like, maybe just communicate. And that's a big issue that's through the whole relationship of Nan and Theo. Yeah.
Yeah, so true. So true. Yeah, but the whole context convo is like necessary, but also like awkward. Like it makes me like awkward because I'm just like, you guys. It's like I want to like love what he's saying, but it's also like you still should have told her you were a duke. Like, like
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's interesting, but they're getting to know each other and like yeah, it's just proof that he jumped into it. But again, we love a hopeless romantic, so
We
fine.
do. Yeah.
Hmm.
We also get Ginny and Seaton, who are now married, and he's a control freak, whatever. They definitely have those seeds planted early. Um,
But they
oh,
do
but
give the illusion. He gives the illusion that he's a good guy.
mhm.
When he comes back and it's like, oh, she's everything, like you're perfect, beautiful, all the things. You're like, if I didn't know
Yeah.
what I know, I would be suspicious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting return from marital bliss.
Yeah. Well, and they're definitely, like, he's definitely love bombing her. And I think it's really
Mm.
interesting. One of my favorite, like, what is it? They made the quiet part loud in this, where they, like, immediately, Lord and Lady Brittlesea, they love Ginny.
Mm.
And, Conchita finally just really, like, makes clear at the ball in this, where she's just
Yes.
like, I mean, a huge part of it is that she is not white.
Yeah.
And that is the thing that I really love that is different in the Buccaneers than like in Bridgerton, where like I love Bridgerton for being an inclusive world where like the like issues of race and stuff are just like let's just be happy and like let's give that escapism to everyone.
Hmm.
And I think that that's
Hmm.
amazing and I think that there should absolutely be shows like that. There also should
Hmm.
be shows like this where you
Hmm.
have real and important conversations where
Hmm.
Conchita just calls that bullshit out and I love her so much for that.
Hmm. Yeah, 'cause she's like, we're equally loud. What makes us different?
Yeah.
We're equally like peacocking,
Hmm.
but is it because her skin's lighter than mine?
Hmm.
So, yeah, it's an important insert into this whole conversation. And honestly, Conchita's so badass in that moment where she just says, you know what? This is enough is enough. Like, I need to, because she goes into this ball or just before the ball thinking like, oh, I'm the favorite now. Like, I'm not the bad, like, in-law or like daughter-in-law because we didn't elope and all these things. And like, she goes into this feeling really good about herself, which is lovely, but immediately she gets shut down. And yeah, she's just at her wit's end and like, rightfully so. And it was definitely a really good moment where she was just like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. So it's an important moment for sure in her storyline.
Yeah, I love it.
Hmm.
Um, well, and then we get definitely more interesting moments with Theo and Nan. They're building up that relationship. And then we get the bombshell that Guy and Theo are besties. And my brain explodes.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's just, it really just made me think of it made me think of like Anthony and Simon when they like collide and they're like, "Oh my God, hey." And you're just like, "Oh shit, they know each other." Like, why? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? But in this situation, it's very much not a good thing for Nan. They know each other because, oh my goodness, it's not good. It's not good at all because there's just the risk of him who's holding on to the secret that she may have thought she may never see him again. And now the secret that could ruin her and Theo is standing right in front of her. And now she realizes that they're best friends. And it's like, Not good.
So much risk. So scary.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, like, it's funny. I think part of the reason that I love, like, I was thinking about, I love when Nan and Theo dance so much. Like, I love it in
Mhm.
every, like, whenever we see it. And I'm like, oh, I think it might be because the actors are dating. And they just have so much chemistry. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I don't actually, I don't know if they're still together, but they dated for a chunk of it. Like, through this, they were, like, falling in love during filming. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
I feel like
god.
it's so clear.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's like groundbreaking, brand new information for me.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Oh my god, I suddenly ship Theo and Ned.
I know, right? It's so hard not to, like, that's like one of the things. And so I'm like, oh my god, but the way that they look at each other, and I was like, this is why they're so pretty when they kiss. And I'm just like,
Oh
I can't.
no! Oh no! Oh no, no, no! Okay, it's fine. We're professionals. Okay.
Yeah.
But oh my god, I love that so much. Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely fun
Um,
fact.
exactly. But speaking of their first kiss, I really love. Like, they're on the beach. That beach has become their thing. Like, they met there. It's so beautiful. And we just get this sweeping romance of them. Um, and I literally, my note was, if you don't want me to love Theo, why are you making them so perfect? Just like,
Seriously. Seriously. And also, I think we didn't touch on the painting room scene because that scene was so sexy to me. Not much happened, but it's just the way that they're like there's this blank canvas which is so symbolic. I love it. And they're both like using their fingers instead of paintbrushes to paint. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? I love it. Keep going. And they're just painting and they're just like, she knows she's shit and he knows that he can do better, but they're just like in this moment. It's giving like some PG version of like, is it Ghost? The movie
yeah,
Ghost with like
like the
the
pottery.
pottery?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's giving some like PG moment of that and I was like, yes, guys. Yes, I love it. So that was I thought and like aesthetically the visuals, the mood board for that scene was just it. It was just it. It was very much like internalized version of the beach where they seem to find each other the most. So I thought it was a beautiful kind of continuation of that.
Yeah, it's really intimate. Um, well, and then we've talked about quite a bit of these things already. This is an episode that I feel like is just so pivotal. It's such a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
But the only other thing I really wanted to make sure we hit on this one is that we get Mabel and Honoria's first kiss.
Oh my god, I was rooting for them since the beginning. I was like, you're like this little like free spirit, and she's like uptight, but like you guys are just gonna like complete each other, and there's just like, oh, so cute, so cute. I was so happy to see them kiss and get together, and I shipped them like right out the gate. Like, yes, I loved it.
Yeah. Um, well, and then we really fly through time in this season. Like, episode 4, we're headed back to New York. Theo's coming with Nan. They're announcing their engagement. Like, mom's throwing a party. Like, we're just whoosh. We're back in it. And it just moves
Yeah.
so fast.
It does move so fast, but like I thought the contrast between like um England and then back to New York, like just the way like the parents are like waking up and it's not as like regal as it might have been like back in England, and it's just like it's clear that it's more casual than it is back in England, and I just love that. You know, we're in New York and there's going to be a party, not a ball, but it's like a party, you know, it's just a celebration. And, you know, throughout all the newspapers, it's like the announcement that the Duke is coming to town. And, you know, that's only really something that would happen outside of England where that's like super exciting as opposed to like him just appearing somewhere back home. It's just a regular day. So, Yeah, I love how they set it up as this big grand thing, something that doesn't happen every day, but that's really something that's going to play against them
Hmm.
or certain people towards the end of this episode. So the episode
Yeah,
4 is also a big one.
it really is. They're pivotal. Um, well, and then you, of course, get a very, very drunk guy deciding to
Mm-hmm.
send a very, very long telegram. And that just
Mm-hmm.
feels like this actually reminds me a little bit of Bridgerton season 3, episode 5, where it like functions as like a ticking clock of you're like, okay, this thing happened, and it's hovering over this whole episode. It's just
Yes.
like, oh god,
I know. I know. It's, yeah. Should have been called TikTok. Episode 4 is TikTok
I
because it's
love it.
going down. But, they're back in New York, and despite it being like a visit, to celebrate like marriages and like engagements and all this, that Nan in the back of her mind is very much like, I need to see my mom. This is the reason why I'm coming back. And she is gung ho on telling her that she knows.
Yeah, and it's hard. It is a struggle, and I feel so like I understand Nan completely. Like she feels like every moment of her life has been made a lie because her identity has been yanked out from under her. And like I get it, this actually reminds me of Outlander so much, where I get so mad that nobody told Bree who her actual dad was, or just that Frank wasn't her, like that she had another dad. Like, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people in the past fully understood the damage that that does to kids to have
Yeah.
their identity shifted like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so like, yeah, the nonchalance about it all is just like super frustrating. Cause like, and you can kind of tell like the way they set up her dad to be like just this guy with the big jokes and like the this and the that. You're just like, this is a person who is not aware of the severity and like the weight that his decision is going to hold over his family. And it's just, yeah,
Yeah.
it's bound to be heartbreaking, and it definitely is, because once this party starts, it feels like everything is falling apart. All these things that, you know, felt okay, it's just going downhill. And like, Steven, like, I'm looking at the notes here. Steven sucks. You
Yeah.
just suck for forgetting Lizzie and just like beginning at the end. Not that he was ever gonna get like a new shot at this, but like, what a dick.
Yeah. He's the worst, undoubtedly. When we just have like so many things hit. So you've got that, and then Mabel's mom walks in on her kissing the maid, which like Mabel just got outed. So what the heck? And then you also have Theo reading the telegram, and it's just like it's like one after the other of so many things where it's like, oh dear God, like what is gonna happen?
So many things back to back to back, and it's just, it feels like if his season was cut in half, part one, part two, this was the last. You know what I mean? It's very classic episode 4. Everything's happening, and it's just, yeah, everything's falling apart a little bit. But I really do love the conversation that Nan has with her mom,
Mm-hmm.
because it really unpacks a lot. And I thought that, the performance of what's the name of the actress who plays Patty the mom?
Christina Hendricks.
Yes, Christina Hendricks is perfection in these scenes with Nan, and just the perspectives that she offers on the whole situation. I thought it was really beautiful.
Yeah, she like deserves an Emmy for that performance. She was so good.
Yeah.
Um, so to continue with that too with the mom, I thought it was really interesting where the way that Seaton manipulates Ginny to make a fool of her mother and then goes in and like swoops in acting like he's going to control Ginny or whatever. Like the levels of manipulation is so horrifying, but
Mm-hmm.
also I love how Patty, the mom, how she's just like, I'm above shame. Like I'm past this. Like whatever. And I love that for her. Like such good growth.
Yeah. And in some way, and maybe not such an obvious, maybe not such an obvious sense. Like she's probably used to like the manipulation that she lives in her own marriage. So
Mm-hmm.
like another day, like another drama, like no, don't have time for that. Obviously she doesn't understand the extent in which, Steven is like actually an abusive psychopath. But, the fact that she can just look past it and be like, I don't need that, is maybe reflective of like what she's like her lived experience, in her own marriage.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. Um, well, and then, okay. Speaking of sketchy behavior from men, I love Theo. I do. My first watch or two, this didn't bump me as much, but on this watch, it really bumped me that he
Mm.
is not giving Nan the telegram. Like him reading it, I fully understand because like he thought it was for him, and that's an understandable assumption to make, and whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That he keeps that from her is extremely sketchy, and I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, it belongs to her, so I don't know why. And for somebody who's so like headstrong and independent and like I thought that she would be more decisive in like the fact that he did owe it to her. I thought that she would be more like, that's my property, I guess. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is weird that he just doesn't feel the need to give it to her. Like that honesty and that trust that they have, I feel like is a little broken there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and I mean, reminds me of the quote from Red, White, and Royal Blue, where Alex is like, "He's so entitled," and oh my god, who's he with? I can't remember. But she's like, "Yeah, he's a prince. He's literally entitled," and that's how I kind of feel about him. It's like, yeah, he's a duke. He's literally entitled. Like, yes, he behaves that
Yeah.
way sometimes, which makes sense for the character. It doesn't make it right, but it makes sense for the character.
Yeah. Also, I've never watched that.
Deb, we can't be friends. Oh,
Stop, 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 stop. I can watch it. I will. I
you have the
swear.
ability. Deb, I love that movie. I watch it every year on New Year's. It's like an
What?
annual watch. I love it. It's my favorite book, like maybe of all time.
What?
Yes.
Red, the red, white, and royal blue?
Yes. Yeah.
Shit, dude, I need to watch it. I don't know why. I don't know why I never did.
It's okay.
Busy, I'm busy, I'm so sorry. But it's with them.
It's
I
okay.
mean, both are eye candy,
Yes.
but Nicholas, uh, what's his
Galaxy.
name? You love him. Yeah, yeah, him. Okay, I'll watch this. You need to watch Cinderella with
Great.
him.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Okay. We need to do this as a bonus episode or something where we each like we need to like bring movies for each other. Be like you watch one and I'll watch another that we both love that we haven't seen. We need to
Okay,
do
well,
that.
this is where we start. Let's start
Okay.
with this.
I love
Okay,
it. Okay, it'll
done.
be like a July bonus episode or something.
Cute. Okay,
Okay.
super down.
On the books.
Whew, we're still friends. Great.
Oh my gosh. No, it was so crazy. That was the first book in my life ever where I read it cover to cover, shut the book, sat there for a second, opened it back up again to page one and started reading. I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
yeah, I
I
love it.
love that.
Mhm.
We all have that one book, right? That's really cute.
Okay, so we have not talked about Miss Test Valley. We have not talked about the governess yet. Miss Test Valley is just super, super creepy with Richard. And that's not a thing in the book at all. Um,
Mhm.
and it's an interesting choice. I viscerally hated it on my first watch. I don't hate it as much this time because, I mean, we'll get there, but like just talk about that we carry the thread through of him realizing that this was not an affair. This was him being abused by, someone who had power over him. I think that there's a lot of value to showing that that happens to young men as well. And that women can be abusers and, all of those things. And that he has every right to emote about that, and he needs to, and his family should support him in that. And I think all of those are good lessons. So even though I don't usually like when things add any kind of sexual assault to material, because I'm just like, there's just too much of it anyway in the world, I think that there is narrative and cultural value to this plotline. So even though I absolutely hate it, I understand why they maybe chose it. So.
So episode 5 now.
Let's do it. So we have the bonfire night. We're gonna light Guy on fire. It's just Guy Fawkes.
Let's. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the vibe. But yeah, like they're all together and it's just like so weird. It's just so awkward. And the fact that like still Nan doesn't know what Guy wrote to her. It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, and also it colors Theo's behavior too. Like him inviting Jean feels so much more calculated when you think about that he is doing this because Guy is in love with Nan. And it just feels manipulative, and I don't like that from him.
Yeah. It's just like cliche. Like it's really just cliche and just immature. It's just immature because like you honestly could have just faced him and been like, listen, I saw the telegram, like that's crazy. What's going on? But no, he's just trying to like put a band-aid on the situation and come on. You can be better than that.
No one in this little love triangle communicates well.
No.
Okay, but who is communicating actually pretty well, impressively, is Richard and Conchita. Because Conchita was like, I'm done being the, floor mat for your family, and I will not let them hurt my daughter the way that they've hurt me. So that's fine. You stay there until you're grown up enough to say screw them and come live with me and my child and us and be our family again. Boundary queen. Yeah. I love her.
Yeah. I love her. Honestly, like, no notes. Like, she's just perfect in this situation, and it's the right decision because she tried. She tried to do the whole escapism thing. Yeah, let's go back to New York. Let's be who we were before. But no, like, things are different. You have a kid, and you fully know what you're coming back to at any moment. So, like, let's figure out a way to exist in this new reality. And if it means that she needs to be alone, then that's just what it is. And he's just faced with having to make a decision. So I love that from her.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so this is such a random one. But, like, who has ridiculous chemistry is Guy and Lizzie. Them sitting there, like, eating the pudding or whatever it is with the spoons, and them talking about, and he's like, oh, like, you figured it out. The shame is his, not yours. Like, he did that. It's not you. And I was like, oh, man, no. I feel like at one point I have shipped almost everybody in this cast with each other. Like, not the cast, but, like, the characters. I'm like, oh, but this line and this line, and that could work, and that could work. And, like, I don't even know who I want to be Endgame. So.
Oh, my God. I feel like Guy, though, could have chemistry with anybody. He could have chemistry with a tree.
Yeah, like, he does.
Bro. That's so funny. It is true. He's very... Yeah, that moment is, like, very... Like... Who am I rooting for anymore? Just Guy with everybody? Like, I don't know.
I'm having, like, the worst time trying not to say any spoilers. I'm freaking out. It's so hard.
Oh my God!
I'm trying so hard! This is the times where I'm like, I have just been like, shut the fuck up, Cass. And it's gonna burst out of me. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna say anything, but like, I'm sitting here just like shaking with it. I'm like, it's fine.
Oh my god, the way I'm gonna dissect this moment. Like, what is making you say that? What did I just say that's making you say this? Oh my god.
It's fine.
You're a spoiler goblin. This is impressive from you.
It's so hard. So yeah, Mabel and Honoria are cute. Uh, Lizzie and Ginny are rekindling their friendship, which is great. And then Nan finds out that Guy sent a telegram and that he didn't get or that she didn't get it, but then she also books it. So like, what is happening in this maze?
The way you almost like quivered throughout that whole statement. You're like, and this, and this, and this, and this, and you can't even say it. Oh my god, you're killing me. Oh my gosh. It's like she's reading a script, you guys.
Almost. I was like, this is why I have this so that I don't mess up and say something I shouldn't.
You're doing great, sweetie. You're doing great.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
It's so funny.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot happening in the maze. That's it. That's all, folks.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so leaving the maze. Conchita and Nan have quite the discussion. I said, it's screaming and crying and kissing in the rain, and it's because I'm like, oh, it's just basically Taylor Swift. It's The Way I Loved You. So.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yes. It's all a bunch of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, they're having like an existential crisis.
Yeah. Well, and then you get this whole like weird competition. I mean, it's natural because of course it is. But Theo and Guy, and I'm just like, just whip them out and measure. Don't need to like bet the family fortune. Like just,
Yeah.
they're just having a day.
Get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. And they
They're
just need
too
to
much.
communicate. They do.
Yeah. That's everybody's story. They just need to communicate. But you know who doesn't need to communicate and are very much on the same page, at least in the beginning, is Mabel and Honoria.
Yeah. They're so beautiful. That scene of them like all in white and like kissing and by the fire, I was like, oh, it's so romantic.
So sweet. So sweet. I love that. Oh. Oh.
Yeah. And then they really like knock us down off that pedestal real hard. Because like Mabel's a bitch. Like
she really is. Why? But like why? It's not who I expected was going to be a bitch in this situation.
Yeah.
Like Honoria has been very like severe, not severe, but like strict and very like reserved, and now suddenly really the tables have turned.
Yeah. Well, I think Mabel is like, it does seem like it kind of comes out of nowhere a little bit, but I think she's just so keenly aware of how everything has to be temporary, and she just is not, I think she's reacting very badly to getting emotionally close to someone, because she's like, well, it can't be forever anyway, so why would I get my heart broken? And so,
yeah.
Sad.
I mean, fair enough, I guess. But heartbreaking nonetheless.
Oh, yeah.
Up in flames, though. Everything
Yes.
else.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's insane. They really, yeah, like, Nan really, like, lays into Guy in this scene, too. She, like, but there's a lot of feelings going around this little love triangle here.
It's a messy love triangle. But also, like, Theo being very, like, open about things and realizing, like, he's acting a certain way on purpose. Like, not on purpose, but, like, unknowingly. But there's, like, a reason for it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I thought that was really compelling when he said that, like, his whole life is power but no control. And I thought that was really very psychologically insightful, and why he will continue to behave the way that he continues to behave through this season is because he needs some therapy on that.
Yes, to say the least.
And then Seaton is evil yet again because he punishes Ginny for having a friend. So
he doesn't even deserve anything. Like, he's just a psycho. And I, like, could do without him altogether.
yeah,
Fuck, man. He makes me so angry.
yeah, and it's gonna get worse. Episode 6 is Christmas, and
Merry
Seaton
Christmas.
is so controlling that it's terrifying. Where literally Ginny can't even bathe herself. He has to bathe her, and is like pouring water on her until she's like sputtering and coughing. Like he's a sadist. Like, he's so scary.
He's literally low-key drowning her.
Yeah.
It's so like it's so the opposite of Benedict Bridgerton. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
He's not enjoying the bathing the way that he should. What a freak! He's just a freak, and he gives me nightmares.
Yeah. Agreed. So sketchy. And poor Lizzie. Like, Lizzie throughout this whole thing, like, that she's being forced to interact with him is so... Her body language just shattered me throughout this. And, Aubrey Abrag playing this, she does so well. She did an amazing job through these scenes.
Yeah. It's got to be such a difficult thing to play, to reenact, and it must be so hard to not carry it with you past the scene. Like, she does it with so much grace, and she's fantastic.
Yeah. And, I mean, and then she finally tells Ginny the truth. But, of course, Ginny's reaction... And again, like, I think it's easy to be frustrated with Ginny because you're just like, oh my god. But, like, Ginny's being abused. Like, and she has her, you know, she's completely unmoored. She's away from her family. She's so separated from everyone, and Seaton has systematically isolated her so that this is going to be her reaction because he's her only North Star, and he's made sure of that. And so, it's awful.
Yeah. He's full on manipulated her to just... he's like kind of conditioned her to think that maybe this is actually normal. And I think that's what's the most heartbreaking is that even though she's finally given this like glimmer of like hope that maybe it's not her, maybe it's just him. She can't, she's not able to open her mind to that like comfort or that hope that she can kind of get out of this situation. She's so fragile. It's awful. It's heartbreaking.
It really is. In a much better spot, Mabel apologizes to Honoria and is like, hey, sorry I was such a dick. Here's a music box that's real cute. That's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
She came around. She's growing. She's learning things about herself. And we love character growth like that.
Yeah, for sure.
The point is she came around, and that's what counts.
Yeah. And Mabel's got a plan. She's like, hey, I'm gonna marry... Is his name Miles? I have it listed as Miles, but for some reason that sounds wrong. Anyway, she's like, I'm gonna marry cute little long-haired lord. And stay in England. It's gonna be fine.
She's a gal with a plan. So, all right.
Yeah.
Poor Miles, but that's okay.
Yeah. And then, thank goodness, the governess quits. She's like, peace out. I'm gonna give you space because Honoria kicks so much ass. She's so amazing. She, like, tells people like it is, and I love her. I love her so much. Which, by the way, did you know she's Kate Winslet's daughter? The actress?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yep.
You're gonna... Pause, please. I don't believe you. Although, yeah, I do because I trust you with my life, but what?
Yeah.
I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna need to sit with this beyond this recording so that I don't halt anything that we're doing right now. Because what?
Is this
Oh
like when you found
my
out that Hero finds Tiffin was young Voldemort?
God. Not as earth-shattering as that, but
Good.
still shocking.
Okay.
Because that confused me. That confused me, like, in my, like, I was gonna say that confused me sexually, but because that is not the right viewpoint for me as a 34-year-old with child Voldemort. But that being Kate Winslet's daughter is just, it's just an age thing. It's fine. I can.
I had to drink water that whole time. I think my face is purple because I was like, I can't breathe. I'm gonna spit water. It confused me sexually. Okay, Deb.
I mean, I was there being like, oh, romantic lead. Sure, sure, sure. Yeah, I love this. Look at this British boy. He's literally a child. He's literally a child. I could go to jail. Don't care about the real time age. That's jail.
Ow, my
This
face
is
hurts
sweet.
from smiling. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. Um. So
Anyways, we love
anyway,
Honoria.
yes, we do. And then an interesting thing happens because the Duchess kicks Nan out for being illegitimate, and Guy didn't
Crazy
tell
bitch.
her. So who the fuck told her?
Who the fuck told her? Fucking Ginny fucked up again.
But she didn't though. It was Seaton.
What?
Seaton's the one that told her.
No, I know, but didn't
Oh,
Ginny tell Seaton?
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She fucked up.
All right. Which
I
I was.
trust. I thought I trust her. I trusted her. But I don't know. Maybe it's just her being like, I want to be able to prove that I can give him something amongst all of this like torture and power he's showing over
Right.
me. But like, girl.
Yeah. Which it like definitely was because he's like, you have to prove to me that you love me more than Nan, and so she's like, okay, and because he's a psycho manipulator, and then but then he then tells, and then Ginny lets like Nan believe that too, which I'm like, Ginny wasn't gonna tell. I don't know, but yeah,
It's messy.
it is messy. Um. But I do love that Nan marches into that Christmas Day breakfast room, whatever, and she gives, like, this speech could be, like, Buccaneers Season 1 thesis statement is Nan's speech, and it's like, we don't do shame, we don't do this, like, I'm not taking this on, and yes, she is a badass, clearly still hung up on Guy, but, like, he's elsewhere, and so she's like, alright, well, Theo. Yeah, because Guy wavered Guy wavers for 1 second, and because she was looking at that door, waiting for him to burst in and come be her person again, and he is like, nope, I'm not gonna do it, and then Theo's there and is like, I love you anyway, and we're gonna go forward with this, I don't care that you're illegitimate, we're gonna get married, and so she's like, alright, swept up in it.
Guy's always at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. Well, and, like, it's so crazy, too, because Nan literally just told Guy that she was relieved to not be getting married to Theo. And it's like...
Exactly.
I don't know.
Bro, where did you go?
Yeah.
Another foil.
So episode 7 brings us to New Year's. And they go to a party. party and every eye is on Nan because they're all gossiping. This feels very Lady Whistledown.
Yes. It's giving Sophie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's feeling the pressure.
Yeah. I really love that Honoria calls out for Richard, that like really makes it clear to him what had happened to him, and then that like Conchita is what changed that. Like Richard started laughing again when Conchita came into his life. Like, and so I love her giving him that perspective. Is one of my favorite scenes in the whole show.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
So Ginny's pregnant now, which is like a whole thing, and Seaton is manipulative and mad about it again and all the things. Or I guess he's not manipulative and mad about it yet, but he's
He's
I don't know how
about
to
to
put
be.
it. He's about to be, yeah. But it's interesting that Ginny's not telling him. Like, she knows enough to know that this is going to be an issue. And so that's, yeah. Okay, but Nan and Guy on the roof with the pinky touches, I was like, what in the Bridgerton is this? Like,
What in the Cantonese is happening?
yes.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, Cantonese, but also Daphne Simon. Anyways,
Yeah.
the almost touches we love.
So cute.
So cute. I love that they find themselves on the rooftop again.
Yeah. That's like, the beach is Nan and Theo, and the rooftop
Yes.
is Guy and Nan.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that. I love that so much. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. They can just be themselves there. They just know where to find each other.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and then freaking Richard's mom, Lady Brittlesea, like, she's like, oh, which, okay, what's so crazy about this to me, though, is that, like, I wish that her response was rare, but, like, this is the kind of stuff that they would say about, especially, like, abuse of boys. It was like, well, whatever, I got rid of her. You know, we don't, mothers and sons don't talk about this, and it's so infuriating, but it's, like, super accurate to the time, which is horrifying, so.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awful. It's awful. It's an awful reality. And just like, yeah, trying to like make it not as big of a deal as it is. Just pretending that it's less. And that's just like a whole bunch of trauma that he's trying to suppress and could potentially just explain reasons why he might be defensive, or like some behavior can be explained by this experience, and it's just, yeah, it's definitely a sad reality.
Yeah. Well, and if we didn't hate those parents enough, then Honoria talks about how, like, her family had made very clear to her that nobody was going to fall in love with her, that she was just going to be, you know, that she was never going to have a happy, beautiful life of whatever. And it just shattered me when she's talking to Mabel, and she's mad at Mabel because she's like, you made me think that I could have something. She's like, I was comfortable in having nothing like that. That she's like, I was never going to be loved. I was never going to anything. And she's like, and you made me want to. And that's so sad.
It's so sad. And there's little seeds that were planted of that, like, spinster vibe at the beginning of the season when the parents were kind of like assuming like, oh, you never had a chance, and when you did have a chance, like back years ago, like it was just never gonna happen, you know, like they've been planting this whole time. And that spinster storyline is so it's so tired, but like also very accurate, like for a girl of that age and whatever, you know, she's been through. But yeah, it is just so heartbreaking when she's like, you gave me like hope, but it broke her heart more, you know, and it broke all of our hearts too. So it's a brutal moment.
Well, and another thing that's awfully cliche, but also kind of fabulous, is Theo and Guy get into a fist fight. Because of course they do.
Sick. Of
Honestly,
course.
watching it this time, I was like, okay, maybe I read too many of these romance novels, but like, why don't you guys just all be a couple? Like, clearly there's homoerotic tension. Like, nobody's fist fighting, nobody's throwing food at each other and like fist fighting each other without some kind of underlayer of like when you're best friends and you start like throwing food and stuff. I'm calling it. I'm calling it homoerotic subtext. It's happening. So I'm like, man,
It's a thing. It's just what it is, okay? That's so
exactly.
funny. Why
Oh
not?
my
Why
god.
not? Yeah, but we love a good cliche fight.
Mm-hmm.
Or do we? Whatever.
I mean, I
Just what
do.
we come to
Okay,
expect.
the fight I actually really liked. What I didn't like was Theo clearly has that telegram memorized. Weird. And then
That is weird.
makes Guy recite it to Nan. Feels very like Theo is very aware of the power that he has and he is wielding it in a kind of dicey way, like a little it's a little torturous, like the idea that he's
Mhm.
going, but and he clearly wants to punish Guy for this, like he feels so
Mhm.
betrayed that he wants to punish Guy. I don't love that as an
Mhm.
impulse in him. Again, he needs therapy, but
Mhm. Yeah. It's really like secondhand like embarrassment, like it's cringy, it's just
yeah.
isn't very necessary. Like clearly you pretending that it's all good it's just backfiring. And yeah, if I'm Nan, I'm not impressed with either of them, honestly. Like the fighting and now the no, it's just it's not the way to address things. And yeah, it's just it's it's cringy. It's a cringy moment. Episode 8, we're kind of leading up to the wedding,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
It's just stressful.
It's extremely stressful, and Guy and Nan are dancing around each other. I do
Hmm.
appreciate from Guy, or from, not Guy, sorry. Guy, okay, this is also what's dumb. The actor that plays Theo, his name is Guy. And I'm like, really? Can we? Anyway.
Are you? That's not true. That
That,
can't be true.
absolutely true. His name's
That's
Guy
stupid.
Remmers. Yeah, I know, it's
That's
dumb.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway.
crazy. Especially for the actress who plays Dan, if she's dating him. What? That's insane.
She's just destined, the character is destined to be with Guy, and the actress is destined to be with Guy. But they're two different men.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fine. Um, but yeah, so Theo and Nan are dancing around each other and super awkward. And I do appreciate that Theo's like, hey, listen, like, if you're gonna not do this, I need to know the morning before and just tell
Mm-hmm.
me. And, like, he's not gonna make her, he's not gonna throw a fit, but he's just like, I have to know because I'm not gonna stand there and be humiliated, which, fair enough. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Lots of respect for that. Um, yeah. He's from the get-go, like I think he's just trying to be true to himself, like from wanting to only marry without like them knowing the context of like what he is and everything. Like at the very least, like even after all this drama, like just give him the chance to just duck out with like his reputation intact. Like he just wants to know that, he can just move on from it. So, yeah, I think that's a really real thing for him to do.
Yeah, fully. Um, And I absolutely love Richard in this episode. He's so good, just telling his family to shove it, and he's going off with
Hmm.
Conchita, and they are
Hmm.
so close in this episode to making it out. So close.
So close. Oh, but like at the very least, like I just love like his character growth. Like
Mm-hmm.
episode 1, Richard is so different than episode 8, and I just yeah, just so easy to say that they're my favorite couple. Like I love them so much.
Yeah. When he really becomes a man over this season, and I love that for him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, and I loved so much, like a family moment that's so good is Mabel finally telling Lizzie that she's queer and that she's like so
Mm,
good. And Lizzie is so
yeah,
lovely.
and Lizzie's so nice about it. And so like everything you'd want. Like it's just so beautiful. It's a really nice moment. And like We love sisters supporting each other. Like, so sweet. It's really, really cute. And you can see it's just a weight lifted off of Mabel's shoulders. Like, she just feels like so much relief, and it's a beautiful moment. And I love that kind of, even though like the Buccaneers versus Bridgerton, they're a little bit more true to what it would have been like in the time to be going through these different kind of scenarios. Like, I just love that they can still portray that, there can be support in these situations that historically might not have been easy to support. So it's beautiful, and it's really hopeful that they have this super cute interaction.
Yeah, I just love it. And especially it's so nice because her mom obviously reacted very poorly. And so that she,
Mm-hmm.
has that support is so great. Um
Mm-hmm.
and then the opposite of support, you have Seaton, who fucking hits Jenny.
Ginny. Oh my god. Just when you think he can't get worse.
Mhm.
Just when you think he's done it all. He
Yeah.
fucking hits her. Like, that's insane. Insane.
And I obviously remembered that it happened, but just on my rewatch, I gasped. I was shocked. And even though I knew it was coming, it's rattled me to my core. It was so, which,
Disgusting.
you know what the craziest statistic that I've ever heard is? Do you know what the number one cause of death for pregnant women is?
Oh, are you about to say, like, domestic abuse?
Yeah, it's homicide. A woman's likelihood of being murdered goes up by, I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 times the minute that she's pregnant.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That gives me chills. Oh, that's disgusting.
It's horrifying. It's so
Yeah.
horrifying.
Yeah.
So
Fucking
again,
Seaton.
awful,
Fucking. Oh, yeah.
but accurate. True to life.
I guess, yeah. My God.
Um, okay, well, very different situation. Because then Guy climbs in Nan's window. And I'm like, Guy! Why now? You've had so many opportunities.
You know what's funny though is that, like, the full circle moment from, like, episode 1, when, like, she, like, goes down the window,
Yeah.
and now in episode 8 he's going up the window. Like, I thought that was, like, an interesting, the irony there is not lost on me. Like, I think
That's so
I
smart.
didn't hate it as much as you did, I think.
I love that. Well, and I love that connection. That's so cute. But I'm like, I kind of just want to shake everybody because I'm like, just talk earlier. Can we have just expressed ourselves earlier, not
Yeah.
on the night before her wedding, please? Where you're gonna bang this girl in what's supposed to be her marriage bed? Okay, that's fine.
Crazy. Yeah, I know. The communication is lacking, but I mean, okay, guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Love it. I low-key love
Your
it.
little giggle there was so cute. You clearly love this.
Clearly love it. And look how far I've come. Look how far I've come from episode 1.
Very true.
She's a guy girly now. But still on the fence. I don't know. I don't know what I want. I don't know. Can't decide. But I kind of love this whole, like, moment. I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong, but whatever.
I mean, to be fair, it sort of feels like Theo has given her leave to make her choice in the morning. That,
Mm.
it doesn't feel, I mean, it's not cheating, but it doesn't quite feel like fully,
Yeah.
it's not like Theo is not aware that there could be some issues and that she might choose not to marry him the next day. Not that I think it's like A-OK golden that she does
Yeah.
this with Guy and then walks down the aisle to Theo and doesn't tell him.
Yeah.
But
It's not great. It's not the best look.
yeah.
It's not the best.
Yeah. But I don't hate her for this decision in this moment because she thinks she's going with Guy. Like she thinks that this is the decision that she's making.
Mm-hmm.
Until Ginny shows up.
And then the drama. Then the fucking drama. And literally Nan being pushed into a corner of like she has no real choice here. And I hate that. I hate that. And it's always like this. You hit a moment where it's like, okay, they're making a decision for themselves, but then they've got to like step in as a hero for other people and like, oh
Yeah.
God, I hate that. I hate that. But she has to do it for her sister. This needs to happen. And, you know, her sister's in like literal danger. So,
Yeah. Well, and I think it really, again, they set it up very well. That the beginning, their toast is like, we always come first. And it's the love story is the girls. The love story is not their relationships with men. It's the Buccaneers together. And that's what I love so much is that it thematically carries through so perfectly where Nan would sacrifice this love to save her sister. And it sucks, but it makes sense.
yeah, it does. And it makes me think this is so far-fetched, but, well, not far-fetched, but such a dorky reference, but like it makes me think of like Frozen, like the
Yeah,
Disney movie.
exactly.
Like they're sisters, and like it's not a love story with a man or like any partner. It's just it's about their love for each other, and yeah, it kind of comes down to that.
Yeah. And then, of course, they end the season with Long Live by Taylor Swift. And I had full body goosebumps.
Full body goosebumps. And episode 1, Taylor Swift, like, oh my gosh, they just know how to do it. Like, what a cliffhanger. What a cliffhanger. But then also the whole, like, revelation that Nan's mom is in town? Or what was it? Like, in town or
She's
she's
at the
not
wedding.
dead?
She's not
What's
dead.
that?
She's at the wedding. Yeah.
She's at the fucking wedding.
Yeah.
What? Like, that's insane. So, all the cliffhangers. All the fucking cliffhangers. And sure, just slap on some Taylor Swift, and you got me for season 2. And I can just see that you are holding back some information.
I really am. It's so hard. Okay, okay. So I'm gonna gather myself together because I do want to talk some things, season 2, and I want to make sure that I don't say anything that I can't say.
You can do hard things.
Um, okay, so season 2, things that I just immediately latched onto. Costuming is spectacular, like so gorgeous. The chemistry between the actors. Okay, so like we know, obviously we have Leighton Meester, which we know. Again, this is not a spoiler. Like they have released this. She is Nan's mom. The chemistry is chemistrying with her and the cast and everything. It's great. The theme of like motherhood feels like it's going to become very significant through the whole season, and I really like that. And they've kind of alluded to that in some of the like released stuff. And I think, you know, as we're seeing more of the girls become mothers, you know, Nan's mom is such a focal point. I think that motherhood is going to be really powerful, and so the girls kind of have the next generation of people to look out for, and that's going to be interesting and compelling. Obviously love our couples still. There's complications, there's drama, of course there's gonna be beautiful scenery, and oh well, also the song choices are extremely incredible, I'll say that.
Okay. I don't feel any emotions towards that at all.
Okay guys, well, that is our discussion of the Buccaneers. Season 2 premieres on June 18th, so you still have time to catch up if you haven't seen season 1 yet. go watch it. It's amazing, and we will definitely be sharing more about it, breaking it down, talking about everything, and recapping season 2 when it's done.
Amazing. Can't wait.